I am Chris Lewis, your CAW heavyweight champion, undefeated for over a year, and not because of COVID, but because everybody's scared of me. Now you're watching Wrestle Geeks Recap. Like, subscribe, or I'm gonna come down there and slap the stupid off your face.
Welcome, everybody. This recap is scheduled weekly. First, introducing from the UK, we have the modern day Viking, Jay Scriven, as well as joining us from Nova Scotia, Canada. He is the cream in your coffee, Jordan Talbot. And our host from New Brunswick, he knows a little bit about a lot and a lot about a little bit. The Geek, Trevor Firth. So welcome, guys. How's it going?
I can't complain.
Can't complain. Yeah, good. Doing good.
So this is our first time being all three of us on the show for Impact Wrestling. So Jay, you're joining us from the UK.
I'm indeed, yeah.
And like Jordan, you've been a fan of TNA Impact pretty much since the beginning.
Yeah.
All right. So, first of all, current storylines. Like, what did No Surrender really quickly, Jay? How did you feel about Moose at the end? Like, where are you standing on Moose, Rich Swann, Tommy Dreamer? Like, what do you want to see, man? What do you want to see next?
So to me, I think Moose is being put into this title shot too soon. I think Moose has got to be the one who beats Omega.
I can picture that. Yeah.
Like, take him out the title shot for now. Take him out of it. Get him doing something else, and bring him in to beat the one to beat Kenny, and have that. That will just transcend him to the next level in my eyes. Like,
I suppose. But I got one thing though. Everybody says Kenny Omega is doing a belt collector gimmick, right?
Mm-hmm.
When has he ever said that he wants the Impact title?
He said it on the bus, didn't he?
He said it on the bus where he was talking about how he used to collect comic books. And he's
one time.
Yeah, that's all he needs to do.
Yeah, but if he was really doing a belt collector gimmick, that AAA, he's got that belt. He has that with him. As far as I know, he has it with him, and it's not in Mexico. So he should be able to defend it. He should be walking around with it if he was really doing a belt collector gimmick, in my opinion. To me, Impact is just so beneath AEW or himself in his mind that it's just not worth it. That's the way I see it.
They might also be trying not to do what Austin Aries did with all the belts, how he carried every single title that he won. They might just be like, we don't want to feel like we're rehashing something.
As well as Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley left Impact, he had every title, right? So Impact has seen this before. That's the only reason why I think maybe they might drop that aspect. That's just my observations.
I don't think they'll drop it. I think this is good for business, and I think getting the titles on each show is good for. I'm not even sure it's good for AEW, but it's definitely good for Impact. So.
Oh no, it's definitely good for AEW. Have you seen the ratings since the Good Brothers started showing up?
No.
Impact's ratings are up. AEW's ratings are up. Period. Both companies have been thriving. Even New Japan Strong is up since the whole Moxley and Kenta thing. So we're just seeing everybody is growing from this.
Yeah, this is definitely helping everybody who's smart enough to see that, the old style is dead. We're our own company. No one's around. This now has literally become, hey, you're doing this with this company. Let's bring you over here and let's see what happens.
It's almost like territory days back again.
I've said the same thing. I said exactly the same thing.
Yep.
And I'm excited to see what comes from it.
Absolutely.
It's just going to, this thing's going to be incredible. I can't wait.
I just will say this. I hope to God that if they do, when I think of it, storylines of companies facing companies, I'm scared they're going to try to do the invasion angle. And it's rare when those work because when you do an invasion angle with two active companies, we're not going to talk about how, oh, WWE bought WCW, ECW, and now they're coming in to attack WWE. You knew
Yeah.
it was like at the end of the day, we all knew who was going to win.
Agreed.
But
Yeah.
but if you're going to do an invasion storyline or a company versus company storyline, it has to work out where at the end of the day, one company doesn't lose and just loses all self-respect, where we're just like, oh, they're the
Yeah.
loser company. It has to work out where everybody wins in some way.
Absolutely. And that's hard to balance. I agree.
See, I'm hoping they don't do company versus company. I hope they do like a Bullet Club reform versus the companies, like to try and take over. I think that's a better route to go because then you've got people from all three companies in one kind of little group, trying to take over all companies, like kind of thing.
And then that opens up doors, like, to a point where, like, okay, well, the Bullet Club is running rampant, running roughshod all over AEW. Well, AEW needs a bit of backup now. So, oh man, I don't remember which one it is. It's not El Phantasmo. He's in Japan. He's been feuding with Leo Rush over on
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
New Japan Strong.
Oh, God.
I'm trying to remember his name desperately. It's going to come to me in a minute. But anyway, let's say he's a member of Bullet Club, right? Japanese Bullet Club, but Bullet Club. So let's say he shows up and then they need backup. Now you have an excuse for Leo Rush to just walk into AEW. And is there anybody who doesn't want to see Leo Rush on Dynamite?
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, I think somebody says that it's because they haven't actually watched enough Leo Rush to know better.
Yeah.
Unbelievable how good that guy is. I hated when they brought him in or when they turned him face in NXT because I was like, this guy's one of those guys where I always say they have the Rick Rude feel, where if you turn him face, it just doesn't work. He's a guy who, if you see him as a heel, that's who he is. He's a heel. You can't have him you could have him maybe be a little bit like, against other heels and, fans could cheer for him for that, but he's got to still be full-blown heel.
I agree with you. He's one of those guys that, well, I mean, the heels and faces are a little, this is a little controversial from me, but it's kind of outdated. It's like, remember when when Cody got destroyed by Brody Lee, rest in peace. And Brandy came out to save him, and everybody was like, "Oh, Brandy's a heel. What is she doing coming out to save Cody?" That's her goddamn husband. I don't care if you're a face or a heel. I don't care if you're an asshole or a piece of shit to every single person in the world. That's your husband.
Yeah.
Chances are that's the one person you actually care about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, to me, it made sense.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm like, faces and heels are a little outdated. I think we can do better than that when it comes to actual three-dimensional characters.
Jim Cornette would disagree.
Jim Cornette can, like, oh man, I got no nice words for Jim Cornette. Let's just leave it at that. So guys,
all I could think of is Cornette disagreeing with you, telling you, heels and wrestlers need to be. We need to have baby faces. We need to have heels. The good guys need to get cheered.
Cornette invented New Jack. Cornette can rot in hell.
Wow.
I don't care, man. I do not like that man. I do not like that man. He's done amazing
New
things.
Jack, I love you. Don't kill me.
Whatever.
When you're watching.
If
he does, I'll actually be so happy.
Can he get it to Canada with his record? I don't know, man.
Is your wife even telling you, whoa, don't freaking talk about New Jack?
Man.
Oh my
anyway,
God.
I'm just saying, no, there's some things were really controversial and too far when it came to that guy. And you know what it is. You know what I mean. Everybody knows that guy's story.
Right now. No one can see this, but I'm actually in tears. Yeah,
So-
Trevor has balls than anybody I've ever known.
I mean, it is what it is. Come on, guys.
Oh my god.
He's a terrifying man. I'm not an idiot. Let's face it. The guy terrifies me, yes, but
He's unhinged. Like, let's face
in my
it.
opinion, Cornette can't say too much when that is when there's so many horrible things that he is responsible for. In my opinion.
Yeah.
So recap: Impact TV, February 16th. Let's go into this, guys. So we open up with TJP defending the title against Josh Alexander. TJP does he wins with the Mamba Splash, of course.
Yeah.
But this felt really weird to me, right? Like, do you guys agree with that?
I was very surprised this was opening.
Yeah, it was the best match on the show to me. Like,
absolutely, but there's no story. There's nothing.
And that's the only thing that could have taken it to the next level. A story behind that match would have just.
Yep.
It was awesome.
I think the thing that threw me off, and I don't know why it just doesn't click with me. I just don't see why Josh Alexander is taking on for the X Division title. I mean, when I think of it, I see him as one of those guys that should be built as like a heavyweight contender.
I see him doing the Brian Cage route. He's going to win the X Division title and he's going to claim it.
Yeah,
I challenge the world title.
Like I don't know if they're trying to go back to the whole no limit X Division thing, but I've always looked at the X Division as the cruiserweight thing, where it's the high flyers.
See, that's why I like Impact, because I don't see it as a weight division thing for me. I see it as a style. If you're going to be in the X Division, it is expected of you to wrestle a certain style. If you are not wrestling that style, then management will take you out of the X Division. Pure and simple, which is why I once mentioned I think Impact could benefit from having something like a pure title. Almost like ROH's pure title, which is more technical wrestling based. Because then you'd have the high-flying title, the technical title, and then the world title, which is character, and more like traditional sports entertainment style stuff. But that would also be probably more titles than what they could handle.
Yeah.
Belts aren't always the best option.
Yeah. One thing I've got to say about that match was that slingshot into the corner that Josh did to TJP when he had him in like an arm. It was just incredible. I've never seen anything like that. I was really impressed with that.
Josh can do so many crazy things out of nowhere. Like, he turns submissions into suplexes, and it's terrifying.
Yeah. And I remember I seen him wrestle live once, and you just see the guy, and you're just like, okay, he's really big. I know he's got the amateur. I believe he has amateur wrestling background.
Yes,
I think so. But I'm just like, okay, he's, I just want to see, can he actually do all the stuff and make it look so seamless? And it is unbelievable how good he is at that. It's just like, he literally could take just a simple move and spin it around.
What did we say about Canadian-born wrestlers? I'm not sure if that was before we started recording or not, but Canadian-born wrestlers, man, there's some of the best wrestlers in the world are Canadian-born.
Definitely.
Some of the best wrestlers in history are Canadian-born.
Yeah.
After this, we have a couple backstage segments. I'm going to lump a few of these together right here.
All right.
So we have Tommy Dreamer challenging Moose to an old school rules match, which didn't want to see it. I'll be honest, didn't care.
Same here.
This old school thing is just played out like in Impact.
Yeah.
It seems like every match is just throwing a stipulation on.
Yeah, they do a few too many gimmick matches. Next, we see Hernandez getting paid off to do a singles match against Cardona this time. And then we get Fallout Bob offering to double, to make Hernandez double his money in the casino, I guess.
Oh, God. I don't care about Hernandez anymore. I'm sorry. I just don't.
I don't mind him as a hired gun.
I like it. That's it. I like him as a wrestler, but I think this whole being paid to be a partner gimmick to me is just, and the money thing just needs to drop. Like,
Yeah,
that's horrendous. Like,
well, I'm looking at it from this sense. I said it last week. With Hernandez, it's the fact that they brought him back so many times that I've just lost the interest of it.
See, that's cheering for me.
So,
that's
but
if, for me. So
yeah. But if they were gonna keep doing the money thing, regardless if we think it's stupid or not, I kind of would like to see Brian Myers, bring in someone that we don't know to take out Hernandez, kind of take that spot so that, it's like, oh, this big monster just took out him kind of
Hernandez
thing.
Hernandez ineffective and just get somebody new. You know what I mean? Like that. I'd be okay with the idea of that being a way for Myers to start introducing new talent, actually.
That's the way, exactly.
That sounds like a really clever idea. I like that. I'll remember that.
If that literally becomes an awesome angle, I'm going to be like, I thought of that.
10 years down the line, I'm going to do it and be like, where did I get that?
I'll be the guy sitting at the bar section going, I thought of it. It was me.
That was my idea.
That was my idea. Why am I alone?
I really hope there's nobody doing that about the triple threat revolver. Later on the night, we do get a Deonna Purrazzo segment, her and her little faction. I'm just gonna call it the Clique because I like that's her clique. I don't know what else to call it at this point because they're not naming it. Not that every faction needs a name, but it helps.
Maybe.
So she tries to convince Scott D'Amore to give Kimberly and Susan a Knockouts tag title match. And Scott D'Amore does his normal, no. You don't just get handed things in Impact. No. So, and then he, of course, decides that they're going to fight Jordynne Grace and Jazz instead. Okay, I guess. See this one last time. Jordynne Grace and Jazz are going to win, and they'll be number one contenders instead of... I mean, I'll be honest. I just want to see that feud done. I'm just tired of it already. I want to see Jazz go up against Deonna. I want to see ODB go up against Deonna. I don't care about the tag team aspect of it right now.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen it too much already.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm looking at it. I kind of want to see. Jazz is always an awesome wrestler. I've always been a huge fan of hers, but I kind of don't want them to, overuse people that have already had opportunities, like Tommy Dreamer getting opportunities, Jazz getting opportunity.
But what if they did basically essentially do a Legend Killer gimmick, right? You do a Legend Killer gimmick with Deonna, it would work.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where, again, take a storyline that's tested, tried and true, that has been done to death with male wrestlers, and just do it with women.
She'd have to take out Gail Kim as well.
And yes, she'd have to, but Gail Kim probably won't come back for it. It's unfortunate Madison's already gone because they missed their opportunity to make Deonna defend against Madison. You know what I mean? They already screwed it up a little bit. If they wanted to go with it, they would have had to pull the trigger earlier. But with ODB and Jazz in the promotion right now, it wouldn't be that big of a stretch.
Yeah, actually makes good sense.
It could be like an evolutionary step in her gimmick, maybe. Next match is the Fatal 4-Way. So we got Willie Mack, Daivari, Trey Miguel, and Suicide. Trey ends up picking up the win. It's a really good, fast-paced match, of course. It's an X Division match. It's everything we expect it to be. I will say Daivari looks killer.
Yeah, he looks like a beast.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. Impact, do not put him back on the shelf. He's one of those guys that randomly appears and disappears in Impact. Keep him there. Just keep him.
Yeah.
He is good. I don't care if you give him titles. I don't care if you give him promos. Just have him as a body in the ring, man, because he's so good. But
yeah.
Oh, go for it.
I'm a little worried because I'm a huge fan of Willie Mack, and it just seems like they're not really doing a lot with him. And I don't know. I'm hoping they're just like leading up to something with him, but it just seems like he's kind of getting phased out after his deal with Moose.
His return got swept under the rug.
Yeah, pretty much.
Completely, because of Trey.
Yeah.
And none of that, but we have new people and returning people constantly right now. So it's like it had no impact having Willie Mack come back from injury. I agree. And he's kind of getting swept under the rug.
It didn't feel like a big deal at all when he returned. Like
it didn't. No, nobody cared. It was just like, oh yeah, Willie Mack's in the ring. Like even commentary was just like, oh, by the way, that's Willie Mack and he's back. If you didn't realize, you know what I mean? Like it was not a good moment for commentary.
And even though he's big, he can move fast.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, Willie Mack bores me on the mic.
Oh yeah, he could use a little bit of more time. Something.
One emotion.
He could do with maybe a heel turn with a good manager.
Oh yeah, that would be good.
Yeah,
that's something Impact doesn't have enough of. Is actually like good use of valets / managers.
Yeah,
because everybody who's doing it right now is they're all wrestlers.
Ooh, yeah, I really can't think of the last manager besides like James Mitchell, I guess, would be the last guy.
Yeah.
Oh God. You're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Or even that guy who was with the Desi Hit Squad, whoever that was.
Yeah.
Gama Singh. Yeah. But I mean, like, Gama Singh was the Desi Hit Squad, but I have issues with Desi Hit Squad. They leaned so heavily into the Indian part of their heritage, and I'm like, they're all Canadian, and Gama Singh is like very highly regarded in Canadian wrestling. Like, anyway, it's like gender.
Yeah.
Jinder Mahal's not Canadian at all. What are you talking about? This is one of those. It is what it is. But the big talking point about this would be like what comes after the match, right? So that'd be as soon as Trey gets backstage, we got Sami Callihan. And Sammy's like, "Congratulations, Trey, you won again." When there was nothing on the line.
I'm not sure where they're going with this. Is this going to be a rivalry or a team? Like, I
like the fact that it's leaving me in the dark because if you think about it, the way he answered, great match, great win. It wasn't something where it's like, oh, he said something horrible. He said something
so condescending.
It's like literally he's like, well, he did win, so what's he gonna say? Screw you, I could have lost.
I guess. But he was just so condescending and smug about it. That's Callihan,
That's what
right?
I love about Sami Callihan. He's like
the
biggest asshole you ever meet, and you're like, fuck this guy, but he's so cool.
Jeff has some great stories about Callihan, and one day I hope to get a bunch of us on all talking and get him to share a few of those. Because man, no, he is legitimately okay. Pro wrestling card game. Sami Callihan was the legit world champion for this pro wrestling card game. Jeff was #1 contender, and Jeff faced off and beat him. So Jeff has had some interesting back and forth in promos with Sami Callihan.
Nice.
I look forward to hearing.
Yeah. Very jealous. So next is the Ace segment. So Ace wants to claim his trophy, get his contendership, and Scott D'Amore is making him jump through like 3 more hoops. Okay. D'Amore's a no-nonsense kind of manager, and he doesn't give anybody anything. But boy, does he love TJP.
Yes. Oh, Ace Austin deserves his X Division shot. Like,
yeah,
absolutely. He doesn't need all this jumping through hoops bullshit.
I did like it's a line that they said that I just couldn't stop laughing at, because it just made TJP seem like both such a cool guy and also such a little dick to everybody, was when he came in, Ace Austin said, "Oh, what's this? Oh, you're gonna screw me over again?" And TJP just goes, "Not unless you're Rohit."
Yeah, I know.
And I loved that. I was like, and the way he just said it, he was just like,
Even in New
"Alright,
Japan Strong,
so cool."
TJP is such an he's a face in New Japan Strong, but he's such an arrogant prick. It's just his thing, man.
But
Like,
when he said that, I was like, holy crap, when did TJP become so freaking cool?
vicious.
Because that's like, oh my god, when he said that, I was kind of hoping, like, I don't know why, but I just wanted the camera to turn on Rohit, and he's like, "Why you got the camera on me?"
I mean, now that we know that Guevara probably won't be showing up in Impact anytime soon. I mean, he might still show up. They might work something out and he might show up later. But I kind of want us to just see TJP keep the belt and go at this point. I kind of want to just see TJP become one of the most dominant X Division champions in history.
Mhm.
Because right now, they have the roster to really do a decent haul for it, decent long haul for it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But that means you're going to put him over Ace Austin and Trey Miguel then, and that I don't think
Oh,
you
that
can
doesn't
do
work.
that.
I agree.
No,
I
not
agree.
against Ace Austin.
Ace kind of has to beat TJP so Trey can beat Ace. Is how I see it. But Ace is one of those guys that's so hot. He could take the loss in the X division and be like, screw you guys, and just go straight into a world title storyline.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everybody would just be like, yeah, right away. The fans would be happy. I would be.
Oh yeah.
I'm worried they've pushed him too hard too soon.
Agreed.
Ace, like,
Agreed. But at this point, you might as well just go for the world title match for him if you're not gonna do Moose, or if you're holding off on Omega.
Hmm.
You know, maybe Ace is the guy who's gonna beat Omega. You never
I
know,
don't see
man.
that. I really can't see that happening, sadly. That's a great idea, but I don't know.
I think it
That's
would take Ace becoming like almost the face of Impact Wrestling for that to happen. And Ace would have to have like a whole faction. I mean, like maybe not a big one, but like 2-3 guys with him to be able to pull this off. And Fulton's not enough, so. But it could be a cool storyline.
Oh yeah, it could be.
could be.
That's all I do, man. I just come up with random storylines all day. But next match, we get the Hernandez and Matt Cardona match. Which, yeah. Like, despite a distraction from Myers and a low blow, Cardona still wins.
Mm.
And I'm just like, when a guy takes a low blow and barely sells it and keeps going, I just don't feel good about that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. No. And, like, I don't care. Women, you kick same thing. Low blow to a woman hurts like crazy. So, I mean, same thing for me when it comes to that. Like, so I don't like that. If you're going to do a low blow shot, I feel like you should use the heat of the low blow to just put the heel over.
Mm-hmm.
I think the hired gun thing becomes nil and void when you keep losing. What's the point?
Well, I mean, they won the tag team match. So this is his first loss.
Suppose.
If he loses again, we can maybe do that thing Jordan said about Myers just being like, "Oh, you're not good enough. I'm going to hire somebody different," and then we bring in a new guy that's never been to
Hernandez back on the shelf. We don't see him for another 3 months or whatever.
I mean, I could see Impact. I could see him somewhere other than Impact.
Yeah.
At this point, he'd feel hot and fresh somewhere else.
Yeah. If I was doing this, I think the only way I would make it if Hernandez lost was, to gain sympathy, so that when Brian Myers brings in someone new, like feeling bad for him, like for, oh, he was the hired gun who
No.
trying something, but
No, because
something
what's
like
gonna
that.
happen is you're gonna get Hernandez and Matt Cardona versus Myers and the new guy, and I don't want that. I just don't want it. Personally, I don't know.
Yeah, I get you. I get you.
We get the AEW ad next.
Best part of the show.
Best part of the show. Oh, Tony
I
Khan
can't
says
help it.
his
Tony
Valentine's
Khan
Day.
is just becoming like my favorite
so
person.
good. I agree, man.
love his. It's hilarious every time.
Mm-hmm. And this one was nothing special either. It was just like, hey, yeah, Valentine's Day gift to Impact was me paying for these TV tapings.
I love the sunglasses he wore. Those are just so freaking cool.
Yeah. But this was like the least this is the most run of the mill one and the least impressive one we've had so far. I will admit. Mind you, I'm pretty sure, if Sammy would have showed up like things were supposed to, then maybe things would have been more interesting. So, match 4. Here's
at the end when Edwards came out and for the Matt Cardona match.
I missed that. You're right. Edwards did come out for that.
Which to me is it was only a couple of weeks ago he was doing a heel. Like it looked like he was going to turn heel when he faced Sami Callihan at the end.
Yeah.
And they've kind of just dropped that in the water completely. Like that's gone. And
then he started biting Myers and
I don't know if it's because they just don't believe he could be a heel. I really don't know. Maybe it's that. But I think Eddie Edwards could be a good heel.
I agree.
No, honestly, keep him face, but just give him this like psycho gimmick and just make him chase down the heels, like the bully. The bully who bullies bullies. So, you know what I mean? So I think that could work really well for Eddie Edwards.
I think they did with him when he injured his eye from that baseball shot or baseball bat shot, which is still one of the most gruesome things I've ever. It's one of the rare times I watched where I literally just like screamed, going, "Oh my fucking god!" That looked like
you do not watch enough New Japan.
In terms of impact, because I'm not used to actually something where it's like, oh my god. But I've seen some crazy shit in New Japan. But the way they had Eddie first of all, they were smart enough to say, all right, we're not going to do the thing where it's like, oh, he injured his eye, all that stuff. They really used that as motivation for him to get pissed off and revenge. And I love that both guys were smart enough to say we can make some real good money with this instead of just being like, oh, I'm sorry I did that. It's like, he hit you in the face with a baseball bat. And
this is a feud that I feel like they can always go back to. Like their feud's not over. It doesn't seem like it's finished. It's
Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. This can be Impact, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Every like once every year and a half, come back to this for a little bit. Just a little bit, not too long. And it'd be great. Especially like if we get some kind of weird flip where like Callahan becomes a face. I think that would be the best way. Like you make Eddie Edwards be one of the first guys to go up against him. Being like, bullshit, I don't believe it.
That's
right?
That's the only way it would work.
Exactly. That's why I think that would be the way to go. But so our next match, this is the match that got everybody talking and probably why this Impact had such good ratings. We had Finjuice taking on Reno Scum. And we know Reno Scum wasn't going to win, which is why Reno Scum was here. But we also know it didn't matter who they were up against. Like, Finjuice was going to win. So Reno Scum is the right choice. But it was a good match, too.
Yeah. I like Reno Scum. Like, when they debuted, I think it was back in 2017.
Yeah.
Like, they were... They look... I like that sort of gimmick and that, And yeah,
I mean, oi, oi, oi! The screaming, like it's fun. It's fun when you got one of them on the gimmick and the one of them on the apron, the other one's kicking ass, and they're in like the one on the apron is just going oi, oi, oi to him all the time. I'm like, fuck it, this is great.
I loved the name. First off, I thought Reno Scum. That's a great name. Tag team name, and also some people are going like, oh, Reno Scum, like they got squashed so easily. But the main thing is, the main goal of this whole thing was because, a lot of people don't watch New Japan.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people watch clips of it on YouTube or anything, but they've never really seen a match. The main thing was to introduce, Fin Juice, because that was, if you're going to introduce a team, you got to introduce them right. And they did.
Yeah,
Reno Scum
that was
did a
completely
great
what it
job.
was for, and they did really well.
So any listeners who don't know this for some reason, Fin Juice is Juice Robinson and David Finlay, which is Fit Finlay's son. Man, David Finlay is, in my opinion, the underrated member of that team.
Mhm.
Like, very underrated. I think he's my favorite of the two, personally. And I know most people see Juice as like the more singles guy of the two of them.
Mm.
To be fair, Juice has had a very successful singles run in New Japan, so
Yeah.
I can't really knock people for that. So, but promo afterwards,
Awesome.
I loved all the young boy references. I loved like all the references to make it sound like they were pedophiles on purpose. Like,
I love that
hell,
people
guys.
don't understand. Like when they did the video and they posted it on YouTube, and Juice Robinson said the line of like, "No, we're not young boys anymore that you used to, blah blah blah." And underneath, I was thinking, okay, how many people do not know what young boys mean?
That's why you had
And-
Matt Stryker on commentary, like scrambling to tell you at some point, like in
But,
between laughing.
Just watching people literally write down, it's like, wait a minute, what have the Good Brothers done?
But to be fair, if you watch BTE, they make bestiality jokes. So I mean, like they look at a green screen with a deer on it, and they're like, "Oh, look at them bucks! Look at them! Oh, I want them buck! Oh, look at that buck!" I love Gallows. I really do.
Oh man, who does not love Gallows and
Yes,
Anderson?
I'm
That's hilarious.
just like, for me, they made what was it, Southpaw Wrestling back in the for WWE.
yeah. Yeah,
I don't know if you like. Oh, they made that for me.
it was hilarious.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we all kind of knew. I didn't want Fin Juice to go directly into a feud with Good Brothers, but Fin Juice probably won't be here that long as well.
Yeah.
Like that's a legit possibility. So
Yeah.
why not have Good Brothers just be like, oh well, we just beat a team from AEW. Like let's beat a team from New Japan. After they beat them, okay, well let's go beat a team from MLW now.
Yeah.
Now, okay, then let's beat a team from. Let's just show that we're the most dominant tag team.
Mm-hmm.
And like AEW has the deepest, biggest tag team, but nobody can beat the Good Brothers over on Impact. Yeah, it could be it could be fun.
Yeah.
Bar segment with Shira getting blamed for everything from Rohit Raju.
Yeah.
And
I love the fact that Rohit is so little compared to Shira.
Rohit is not a little man.
Yeah.
Rohit is not a little man. But yeah, no, Shira is huge. It's just Mahabali Shira just doesn't work for me. They've never been able to make him work in Impact. They've tried so many things.
Yeah, I really don't see it either.
And I don't want him to go solo. Like, stick him with Rohit. Like, leave him with Rohit at least, because he is better that way.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, what come to this is Sabin and Storm come in, right? They take out Rohit, and like Shira doesn't care. And then Swinger invites them to his casino. And this is the first time I ever liked a Swinger casino scene.
I agree.
Damn it! Sabin and Storm made this good. Okay, Storm made it really good. Let's face it.
His little rap that he did, that was hilarious.
Yes. It was. Oh man. Oh, we do get something out of this. Swinger and Falaba, which we forgot to talk about it, but we had Before the Impact BTI this week, right? Which did either of you watch that?
I actually didn't.
No. Okay, I did. It was nothing spectacular. It was kind of just like a kayfabe recap of No Surrender, what I expected it to be. But the match on it, I'll talk about the match after. It was really good. But next week we have on as the match, we actually have Falaba versus Johnny Swinger. That's going to be the match on BTI. I really hate that name. Just going to say it. BTI is irritating because I keep wanting to say BTE. It's very annoying. But yeah, no, like the casino worked for once, I guess. Next,
It did.
Next we have we got a backstage segment with Nevaeh blaming herself for them her and Havoc losing. And I will admit, like, Nevaeh is the one getting pinned recently, right? And we saw the frustration in Nevaeh's face at the end of the match at No Surrender. But Tenille comes in saying, "Oh, I wasn't eavesdropping, but I literally heard everything you just said."
Oh,
I'm like, that's
I hate those.
But,
I hate those
yeah.
promos where it's just like there's someone's talking and the person's there and they're just like, I heard everything you said.
Well, to be fair,
Why?
she opens a door and comes out of a locker room. So it's not like she was just like off camera. She was in another room and she could hear what they were saying. So that's not terrible.
But I'm just imagining, did she literally just stand outside that door?
Yeah, she was stood at the door like that.
Her and Caleb with a K were inside, God knows. But
still the best name in wrestling, Caleb with a K. I just don't care what people say. That is still... I still love that so much. I always keep hoping that they, on commentary, I wish they do this as a thing, where if they keep saying it's like, and there's Caleb, and he would just constantly look at commentary and say, tell him it's with a K.
Yeah.
And he's constantly saying that, and they're just like, it's like, oh, yep, and Caleb's there. I told you it's with a K.
Everybody's just accepted it. That's the funny part. Everybody's just like, yeah, oh, it's Caleb with a K. Like, everybody is just like, that's his name. It's fine. Nothing weird about it.
Yeah.
But this did lead to Nevaeh versus Tenille. And the match was actually pretty good. Again, like, we didn't have a bad match on the card. Like tonight, there were some kind of weird feeling matches or tired matches because we have seen a little bit over and over again.
Yeah.
But Tenille and Nevaeh was fresh. Have they faced each other in one-on-one yet?
I wouldn't even know.
I know. I really don't.
I don't think they have. So this was the first time then. So yeah. And Tenille does win, causing Caleb with the K and Tenille kind of just get in Nevaeh's head the entire match. Right?
Yeah.
I am interested to see where this leads, because I don't think Havoc's going to want Tenille as a tag team partner, and she's not going to have Tenille as a tag team partner. But I do like how they're doing this. Like they're doing Havoc and Nevaeh are probably going to break up as a tag team, but they're still good friends, and it's just not working. And Nevaeh knows it's not working, and Nevaeh's like, I need to go work on myself for a bit or something. You know, I need to. And I'm cool with that. That's different because we don't see that enough in wrestling.
If you don't break them up as like hate each other, you can bring them back further down the line as a good tag team again. That's And
I mean, it's Havoc and Nevaeh. Their history prior to Impact as a tag team is very well established.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't be the promotion that breaks it apart. Sorry?
I'm very interested in seeing what they do with it as well, because I think Tenille and Nevaeh could be a really good tag team because they're two incredible workers and they're just unbelievable. And, you know, if you're good in, it's usually something how I've always believed that if you're good with an opponent in the ring, if you guys have good chemistry there, doesn't have to be perfect. It can have some flaws there, but if you're good in the ring with against each other, you could be a really good tag team.
Mhm.
Yeah, usually yes. Usually that kind of chemistry can turn into that. We get I'll go into the match that was on BTI. It was which was Decay, Black Taurus, and Crazy Steve versus Triple XL.
I did catch that match.
It was really good. It was a long one too. It was like almost like 15, 16 minutes.
Yeah.
They gave us
Wow.
a good time. Like it was really. I think these BTI matches are not going to be like explosion matches. These BTI matches are going to be worth watching.
Yeah.
Like, and they seem to have some storyline relevance because this was like this continuing the whole Decay Triple XL thing. And next week we have Falaba versus, or like, sorry, tonight from when this is getting posted, we have Falaba versus Johnny Swinger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if they keep going to their minor storylines that are on the show, then I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Violent by Design promo with Diener challenging Jake to a table match.
Mm.
This was legitimately creepy.
Though EY was talking into his ear and just the way it was shot was fantastic. Like it was art.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
What I was going to say was, this is the kind of stuff I was waiting for Eric Young to do, because
Yeah.
I know a lot of people when they see him, like, and a lot of people who like remember it. You can understand this. You know, he's come a long way from what he was.
Super Eric.
Yeah, like Super Eric, and the guy who was scared of his pyro, and you know, the white meat baby face. But but I was like, you know, if he takes what he did with Sanity in NXT and just, you know, adds a different flair to it and makes it work, it could be something really special. And that promo, you're right, it was like, wow, he is actually creeping the hell out of me.
And Diener was spot on in that promo too.
He won over.
I've never really doubted Diener's ability, I'll be honest, but yeah, it's fun to see him get away from the stupid Duck Dynasty thing and do something great like this.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited for that tables match.
I was like, yeah, like I said, I was like, first, as we both said, the match he had with Jake Something was unbelievable. His in-ring work has never been doubted. Cody Diener, I mean, his in-ring work has never been a doubt. It's just, I think a lot of people are like, him as a heel, is that actually gonna work?
Well, I mean, if you're turning heel, you gotta change your gimmick.
Yeah.
He's a comedy babyface. If you're gonna go to heel, you have to change that.
Yeah.
And it has to make sense.
I just meant in the sense that, like, even people who go from comedy heel to, or comedy babyface to serious heel, it sometimes just doesn't, like, you know, work. And perfect example of that is Eric Young, when he really went heel for the first time, going from a babyface to the leader of the World Elite, where he was serious, everything. It just didn't work for me, because it was like, we're really supposed to take you serious after you just become this, you know,
that's the thing.
This joke.
After all that stupidity, if he would have come in with a big enough chip on his shoulder, it would have sold it for me.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is. He didn't have the intensity yet.
Yeah.
That he has now.
Oh my God, he has it now, and without question.
WWE broke him. WWE pushed him to this.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
He should still be world champion. He should still be Impact champion to me.
I kind of agree. I don't think Swan should have won it when he did. But seeing what they were planning with Omega, and I understand why they did it. So main event, old school rules, Moose versus Dreamer.
Can I just ask why they didn't just call it a hardcore match?
I don't know why they call it old school rules.
I don't get the whole, like, it's almost like they're saying to us, yeah, remember Tommy Dreamer used to wrestle in that old company?
So the match was whatever, honestly. Moose wins with the lights out. He looks like he almost killed Dreamer. Like Dreamer sold his ass off for Moose, which we've seen him do that before. We've seen this before. This exact stipulation, we've seen. So it wasn't anything special for me. I just want to get Moose versus Swan faster. Like I just want to get, which I assume is going to happen at Sacrifice.
Yeah,
which was an app.
Yeah.
Did they have an old school match before? Did him and Moose have an old school match?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Like Slammiversary. They even referenced it during the contract signing.
Yeah.
And that's why it pissed me off. I'm like, you literally told people that this match has already happened last week. You reminded us that this match has already happened. So I was like,
Like Dreamer should have retired after losing to Swan. You know, or not even retired, just stepped off the screen for, I don't know, however long you needed him to step off for. Just feel like it was
We should not have had Dreamer walking out of that locker room super pissed off, challenging Moose. We should have had Swan super pissed off walking out of that locker room. But anyway, so we did get, when it comes to that X division, with the hoops that Ace has to jump through is going to be that he has to win on tonight's episode of Impact. He's got to win a 6-man tag where he's teamed up with Chris Bay and Black Taurus versus Josh Alexander, Willie Mack, and Suicide? Oh, Trey Miguel. So, and the winners get to face each other in triple threat the week after. For the number one contendership. And if you believe what all the rumors are saying, Sammy Guevara should have been where Black Taurus is. And that blows my mind, the idea of having Chris Bay, Ace Austin, and Sammy Guevara all on the same freaking team, and then watching them all go at it in a triple threat, and I'm just I'm so sad this is not happening.
And I don't know what the situation was with the Sammy Guevara thing, because it's like you never know the whole story. We've heard the reason why Sammy said, but you know.
I mean, on his vlog this last week, he was outside playing in the snow without a jacket on, and his girlfriend's like, "Sammy, what the hell are you doing?" And he goes, "I didn't think I needed a jacket. The internet said I had so much heat." I'm like, "Oh, you clever." It was smart. It was funny. I mean, if Sammy's laughing at it like this, chances are there's not that much heat on him.
Yeah.
They're probably just gonna wait and pull the trigger on this a little later. Instead, you know what I mean? Like, we missed a month of tapings. Ooh, sad. Push it off a month. But in the meantime, he can go somewhere else. There's other places that record every week for their shows or that are live. So I mean. But overall, it's a good episode of Impact. We're going to start moving slowly towards Sacrifice, and then after Sacrifice, we're moving towards Rebellion, which obviously Omega's going to be back for Rebellion. The logo kind of gave that away. Yeah, really enjoyed it overall.
With Omega's logo there, I almost had a fucking meltdown. I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah. So we're gonna do a little outro segment that we're gonna be called. I don't even remember the name that you suggested, Jordan. I am so sorry. Making an impact?
Yeah, making an impact.
Making an impact. Okay. So we're each basically gonna bring up one guy that is not in Impact Wrestling, and this person can be in WWE. It doesn't have to be somebody that we realistically believe, like somebody that we would love to see in Impact Wrestling that is currently active in the world of wrestling. That's kind of the only restrictions. So, Jordan, this was your idea for a segment, so go first, man.
All right, so I'm going to start it off with a guy that I've watched in the Canadian wrestling scene that I'm a huge fan of, and I hope you guys know his name. His name is Channing Decker.
Hell yeah.
Channing Decker is someone here's what I always believe in terms of marketing, booking, and having a guy on the show when he wrestles. You have to literally, if I put you in this situation of a match, you gotta somehow make it like watchable or something people will, want to watch you in. And Channing Decker, man, literally, you throw him in any style match, he literally steals the show. Hardcore matches, he has some of the greatest hardcore matches I've ever seen. In straight wrestling matches, it's unbelievable how good he is. And he took a dive from the top rope out on a guy out in the crowd, and he missed the guy, landed back burst onto the floor, and he literally got right up and just like was like, yeah. It's like, how is he not crippled?
I watched him run off of a stage to do a senton to a guy that was laying on a table that had light tubes on it.
Yep.
And the guy moved out of the way. So Decker went flying right into it, and there was a 4-inch piece of the table in his back, like chunk of the table, just in his back.
And the one thing
Decker's
I really
terrifyingly intense. I love it. And he's a great guy too.
Two things I'm gonna put in there. One, he has an awesome attitude. First of all, he's not one of those guys who's like, I'm so great, bow down to me. He literally has the best attitude from somebody I've seen that's just like, he is that good, but he knows he could be better. Like, that's an awesome attitude to have. And you have to have that attitude if you want to get to that, top level.
Absolutely.
And the other thing I like about this guy is that he's just one of those guys where if you put him on right now, he's rocking a leather jacket and a blonde gold mullet. And it's the coolest look I've ever seen.
Do you know why? Do you know why he has this?
No, I don't.
Channing Decker has been selected to play Brian Pillman in Dark Side of the Ring.
Oh wow, Jesus!
But he was that's why he has that look right now. He was recording for Dark Side of the Ring.
I'm mad at my teacher. He actually directs those from college.
Oh, that's incredible.
My teacher, he sent, he shared a picture of it, and we were all, and I was like looking, I was like, what the hell is he doing? And I messaged him. I said, so what's this? And he told me. I was like, I want to say that's awesome, but I also hate you with a jealous passion that will rival forever. Jason Eisner, please don't hate me for saying that, but it's true, big guy. You literally are the luckiest son of a bitch I've ever met.
Oh, he's living the dream. He's living the dream.
But yeah, I really think Channing Decker, if Impact Wrestling wants to like find a diamond in the rough, like
great Canadian wrestler, right there.
I really think that guy could be good. This was a hard thing to actually do when I thought about who do I actually want on.
I think after like 2 weeks, after like 3-4 weeks, I'm gonna start struggling.
Yeah. All right, who's next?
All right, so I would have Eric Redbeard or Eric Rowan, and I would have him team with Violent by Design. I would have had him come out instead of.
Oh my God!
Oh wow! Yes.
Instead of Joe Dorian, so have him been Eric Young's first person. That's what I would have done. That's where I would have gone.
Oh.
That would have been really cool. Yeah. I mean, I really like Joe Dorian. I like what they're doing with him. And he was in Pro Wrestling Noah, so I looked at before this. So I looked at a handful of matches.
Yeah.
But, pretty cool stuff. I like. But
I'd name him Red as well. I wouldn't call him Eric or Redbeard. I'd just call him Red. That would be my booking for
just him. Red. Yeah. No, I agree. I don't like the Redbeard thing.
No.
But I'm going to just throw this in a question for you, Jay. What would you say if people were like, oh, they're just throwing him in a faction like they did with the Wyatt family? Do you think he should be someone who should be on his own?
Eventually, yeah. But like he could have like him turn against Eric Young, but not for a good few months, really. Have him as replacement for Joe Dorian, or even bring him in now and team him with Joe Dorian and have the whole of Violent by Design just own all the titles, like give EU the world title, give Dina the
X Division. Yeah, that could work really well.
That would be, yeah.
Okay. So my pick, I brought him up earlier. And here's what I have the gimmick for it and everything. I got the story and everything, man. Lio Rush.
Ooh, yep.
Because let's figure it. Let's face it. Lio Rush has the AAA cruiserweight. He's the MLW light heavyweight, which I still found it weird that they chose the light heavyweight division, but whatever. I want to see him win the IWGP Junior Heavyweight. I want to see him win the X Division title. I want to maybe even see him win the TNT title. I want him to be a belt collector, but secondary titles. Because that's never really been done other than one man. One man. And that's the Super J Crown 13 belts.
Yeah, Ultimo Dragon.
Ultimo Dragon. Exactly. So having Lio Rush do like a modern day version, there won't be 13 belts, but a modern day version of that with all of the high-end belts that are kind of equivalent this day. I think that would be really, really cool. And then when he's standing there with all of them, he can just be like, well, we all know there's one more that I've already held before, and it's fine.
Yeah. I'm going to just say this because this just came into my mind, and I love the idea. I love the idea of collecting secondary titles, but
it kind of makes them mean a bit more, in my opinion.
Yeah, but the one thing I'm thinking, and I'm sure maybe even some other people are thinking, with Kenny Omega sort of doing the belt collector thing too, would it be kind of a conflict of interest?
But I only see one belt on Kenny Omega. That's my argument, guys. I'm sticking to it.
All the belts.
If
you could go down the line and have Lio Rush
the belt. Yeah. But if Omega actually carried the belt, then no, I wouldn't want Lio Rush to do this gimmick. But Omega's not carrying all the belts. I want Lio Rush to walk around with all those belts.
That's where I was a little concerned. I was like, well, if he's just going around winning titles like what Kenny Omega's supposedly doing, okay, that's kind of doing the same thing. But if he's carrying all the belts, that works perfectly.
And like every time he wins, like every title match he's in, he puts all of his belts on the line. All of them. That's the idea, right? Like to become the new, and then eventually it gets to him and he's like, oh, well, I have all the belts. You want the X Division? Like, you're from Impact. You can challenge me for the X Division. Well, what happened to the challenging you for all the belts? You know what I mean? Like, that's when you make him, like, slowly start turning and be like, no, they're all mine. And you really, like, play up the Adam Cole level obsession, but, like, times 10, because he's got that many belts.
Or I even thought of, like, or how about this for an idea? Like, he can even say, like, he'll defend the X Division title, but and let's say he defends, or if someone challenges him, he'll say, okay, I'll put the titles on the line. It's like, you pick which one, and they say, well, I want the X Division title. And it could be funny where he's like, well, this wasn't, I'm in MLW, and this
We're
was
in
not
MLW right now. I can't. Yeah,
it's not an Impact Wrestling sanctioned match. Therefore, I don't have to lose this belt. And it's just a constant thing where he finds a way to like just keep his titles.
That could be good. That could be really good.
Or even if he loses a match, he's like, well, according to I talked with the promoters, they said a title cannot change hands by the 15-minute mark. Or just something where he like.
I mean, they could. They could, but I wouldn't want Lio Rush to go down that route too much. No. Like because Lio Rush, man, like he's a very unique talent. He's already got. He's got. I'm sure he would find a very unique way of losing the belts that would still make him feel very important.
Yeah,
Lio Rush is a very smart man. He's a good businessman. I'm sure he'd figure it out. He is the Moth, and I truly, I love that idea. I love the moniker, all of it.
Is it sad that people, when he says he's the Moth, they're like, I never see a butterfly on his trunks. And I actually wrote it down, and I said, I don't know how come I have to actually write this down. It's an acronym, a moron.
Have you seen a goat head on Rey Mysterio's ass? No. Like, I seeing a goat on Jericho would kind of make sense because he's a rock star and it just works with his aesthetic. But
Do you think we'll ever see Jericho turn up in Impact?
Nah,
He doesn't really have to.
I don't think so.
Not really.
I don't think he's ever going to go anywhere other than AEW again.
Or how about this? There's the big rumor talking about everyone's saying Okada's going to show up in AEW. You think he'll ever show up in Impact?
I think there's a possibility of it, but if somebody would tell me that like Okada himself is still sour with Impact, I'd believe it.
Yeah.
Like, not to say anything about I don't know anything about the way he is if he holds grudges or anything, but I mean that story was that bad, and I would still hold a grudge about it if I were him.
Yeah,
but the first thing that Impact Locker did when they went over to New Japan was go into the locker room, wasn't it? They didn't go to management. They went straight to the locker room and apologized to everyone for the past.
Yes.
Now to me, that's the ultimate sign of respect there. Like that,
Well, it helps that it's Callis and D'Amore too, and like there's a good relationship with Callis already. Yeah. He was on commentary for a good long while.
Yeah.
So, Kevin Kelly is great, but I do miss Don Callis in New Japan English commentary.
I just missed him on commentary, period. His stuff with Scarlett Bordeaux was so hilarious.
I love how he pretends to not be management. I'm just a commentator. I don't know anything.
Yeah.
Why are you yelling at me?
Well, that was the thing he did with Scarlett Bordeaux. That was so freaking hilarious. Where
he did that with
she
everybody.
was talking. She came over and she was like talking about how she wanted a bigger stage, a bigger to perform. He said, "Well, I'm good with management. I'll get that. I'll do it. I can do that for you." And I was just like, he's rubbing it in our faces.
Yeah, now he's completely like open about it. And he's just like, well, Moose, like we got your contract here, and it'd be really shitty if. I really like that. That was cool. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, be slimy, do it.
Yeah,
why not? But anyway, guys, I think we're gonna wrap up this recap.
Awesome,
fabulous.
So please, everybody, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment down below telling us your favorite part about Impact or who you would like to see in Impact Wrestling. And we'll see you again next week on another recap.
Boom.